You're listening to Beauty, Strength, and Dominance, the official podcast of Lingerie Fighting Championships. And now, here's your host, Michael Larkin.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of Beauty, Strength, and Dominance, the official LFC Lingerie Fighting Championships podcast. My name is Mike Larkin, and joining me today, she is going to be in the main event against Bella Inc. for the LFC Championship at LFC 46 Tunnel of Love. The one, the only Miss Jade Long. How are you, Jade?
I'm doing great. How are you doing today, Michael?
I'm good. First and foremost, I got to tell you, I'm really looking forward to seeing what you and Bella Inc. do, because what y'all have done within the sessions world, within just wrestling as itself, you got the skills that kills, replace the S, putting a Z on that, really emphasizes and heightens that. So I got to ask you, how excited are you come Valentine's Day this coming weekend for LFC?
I'm so excited. So Bella and I, we do have something that is really fun, pretty unique coming up, and we're trying to keep it like under wraps. But yes, I'm very excited to be able to do it for you all.
I got to say, first and foremost, Jade, it's one of those things where I look at all these amazing women. LFC really highlights the internal and external beauty that you and so many of your women who apply your craft. But I also look at it as a stance like this, man. It's kind of like when we had the LFL back in the day, the Lingerie Football League. We're showcasing a great sport, a great art form of discipline, but also showcasing the real deal sex appeal. So it's a nice little variety and everything wrapped in one for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Um, I think that it's amazing that spaces are being made that showcase the beauty and strength of women. That it's a space that's specifically for us. I love that.
I think it's one of those things too, and I've always said this about people: evolution, adaptability, and really just growth and learning. You never stop learning in life. So I've always looked at it like this: people need to not only be like that, but they also need to expand their horizons and really showcase and really be open-minded to stuff, because you never know, number one, but also at the same time, number two, a lot of things are really becoming more normalized. Do we still need some work? Sure, but it's nice to see a lot of things really be put into the forefront.
Oh, absolutely. I agree. I feel like I'm really grateful to be a part of like this generation, this kind of movement where people, it seems like people are starting to feel more open, being admitting, like some of the interests that they have. And I like that we're challenging gender norms. I love seeing women being like, portrayed as strong and powerful. Um, and I just, yeah, I love that this is what we're doing right now.
I think it's one of those things, and this is for me being the 90s kid that I am and really going through my teenage years and now adulthood at 33 years old. I've always looked at it like this. It's like within anything in life, you're going to have people that have uniqueness and preferences, and that's what makes us unique. We all really get to express our individuality. I've always looked at it like this: as they say, let your freak fly fly, show your kinks, what have you. You never know what you can tap into that someone's going to enjoy. So if you can bring that out of someone, then I think you're golden at the end of the day.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love the way that you put it.
No, it is. It's true, because I think a lot of things that we considered taboo, like in the 80s, 90s and stuff, that it's just like, oh, what are they doing over here? We're putting it into the forefront. And I've always said this: look at it like Bob Ross, The Joy of Painting, with the Jufo and everything. You would watch that son of a bitch for 30 minutes, and by the end of it, you got a masterpiece. We got mountains, we got fountains, we got everything. Look at how Bob Ross looks at those paintings through his eyes, through these things right here, the lenses, his little happy trees and all that. How Bob Ross views a painting, looking at how you look at women and look at how you look at the craft, and it really has a nice little gel to it. It's really how you interpret things.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with all of that. I'm really excited to see what else is going to be brought up in this world. Like, I feel like I'm kind of like at the beginning of this all, so it's really exciting.
And for you now, I will even say this before we get into some more wrestling stuff. I have to ask you: the style and aesthetic really makes the entrances and memorable moments in Lingerie Fighting Championship. The bouts and everything, it's a whole representation of your presentation. So I got to ask you, Miss Jade Long, it's Valentine's Day. What a great way for people to spend Valentine's Day. What do we
Mm-hmm.
think lingerie wise, man? Without giving too much, what are we thinking from the style and profile inside?
Yeah, I won't say too much, but it's definitely gonna be kinky, and I'm thinking something. Maybe dominatrix inspired.
I got to tell you right now, I have flashbacks to me when I was 15 years old watching MTV True Life, I'm a Dominatrix, or even Madonna, Human Nature back in the 90s. Give me a little sex appeal like that amplified. I'm here. You have me hooked already. I like your style.
Yeah, there may or may not be some tools that I bring out too. Could be a flogger.
Hey now. Okay. All
Won't
right.
say anything else.
All right, we'll keep that on the DL, but also I'll even add on to your point there. That's another thing, like we mentioned with the uniqueness and preferences side of things, like the dominatrix thing, the lifestyle. It's really become so big and really put into the forefront. How awesome is that to see? Because it's really become so big.
Oh, I'm sorry. You said how is that?
Yeah, how awesome has that been as far as just
Oh,
to see
how
how much
awesome.
people are getting into dominatrix, man?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh man, I remember when I started hearing that this is something that people were interested in, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, yes," because I grew up my whole life just being a pretty dominant woman. I was always the person who was like never afraid to challenge anything, always the person who like kind of had the loudest voice in the room, and I grew up with a lot of people trying to silence that. It made them uncomfortable. And I was always just like, sorry, you're just gonna have to deal with me as I am. So when I heard that there was like a whole world where people would love to see that side of me, I was really excited about that. I was like, okay, I can just be exactly who I am already. Like, this is gonna be amazing, and people are gonna actually appreciate that. So yes, agreed. Awesome. It's been an amazing experience entering into this.
I've always looked at it like this because, again, we mentioned people's viewpoint. When it comes to, like, in the documentary I mentioned, like, True Life really shows how it's to be submissive and dominant with the dominatrix side and everything in that. But I always looked at it like this, like some people, whether you do sessions, whether people do some adult work on the over here or what have you, everything in life not only is an art form, but it's a job, it's a business, it's a brand, it's, dare I say, an entity. It's how you portray yourself. But I think a lot of people look at it in a certain aspect, like we mentioned earlier. But at the end of the day, too, it's your business and your brand, and how you really
Mhm.
represent yourself goes a long way.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that it's super important to do the things that you're passionate about. Like if there can be a cohesion between like your personality, your passions, and also what you do for work, then I think that that's like the best of both worlds. Then it feels like you're not really working your whole life.
Absolutely not. And I mean, I've always looked at it like this. I think in our lifetime, everybody has a story to tell. So you're just writing every single chapter and your story just continues. So I've always looked at it like this. I mean, we'll even go back to Natasha Bedingfield back in the day. The rest is still unwritten, to quote 2006 up in here. It's one of those things that we could take any inspiration and any likeness from everything and we really make it our own.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I always feel like I've had some like fun, unique ideas that were very out there. So I'm really excited to be able to bring my vision to life in this world.
Absolutely. And I think you're doing an amazing job thus far with it, Miss Jade Long. I have to
Thank
ask
you.
you, you're very welcome. So now I got to ask you as well. Let's talk about the sessions wrestling side of things.
Mhm.
Really gets to showcase and really empowers a lot of amazing women like yourself. Jennifer Thomas has done such an amazing job with the site and everything. Talk about what kind of gravitated you towards and really wanted to get you on the wrestling side of things.
Well, I feel like this is something that I've always had an interest in. I uh, let's see. I took Taekwondo for a few years, some years back. Always loved doing that. I I've had a client that I've been wrestling with for a few years now, and I thought that he was the only one. Like I didn't know that there was a whole world out here for this. I just remember I just met him, had dinner with him, everything was very casual, and he had asked me like, "Hey, do you want to wrestle?" And I was like, "Sounds like it could be fun. I'm down to try." And then I remember when I learned about like how there's so many other people who had an interest in this, I was excited because ever since I was a little kid, I was kind of like the mean girl on the playground. I would literally go run around and kick guys in the nuts, being like the little demon that I was. So I remember the first time a man had told me that he wanted me to bust his balls. Like that was something that he would really enjoy for me to do. And I was like, oh my God, it's like my childhood dream come true. I would love to do this, and for people to not be upset at me for it.
This is literally like Helga and Hey Arnold or Ashley Spinelli on Recess, just like the tomboy girl that just doesn't take any shit. I love that.
Yeah, Helga was like my spirit animal when I was a kid.
Yeah, so anybody, for those who are youngins out there, if you've never watched Ashley Spinelli on Recess or Helga on Hey Arnold, this is literally what this is, and I love it. I totally see that. I went with a lot of girls in school that were like that, so I appreciate that even to the 10th degree on that. But for you also at the same time, too, you added another great element to that, like ball busting. Like, how awesome is that to see, like, not only that, but that's even become a big thing. Guys just, like, getting rear back kicking the nuts.
I think that was the most shocking thing to me when I entered this world, was when I learned about how much men love ball busting, and even more so than that, more than ball busting. I have been commissioned to do some like extreme kind of content in that world. But yeah, I feel like that's just been the most empowering thing of all. Just like seeing a man down on his hands and knees and me just kicking him straight in the nuts and having him tell me like, "Thank you, goddess." Like, yes, that's just that's just music to my ears. That is food for my soul. Just give me more. I can never have enough of it.
So to make like a wrestling equivalent here, and I think you will appreciate this tie-in here, you're kind of like God rest her soul, China. Every time she would deliver that low blow, it's like right up there, like DX style low blow. Yes. It's kind of like that.
What a compliment.
It's the most like upstanding compliment there, because when you think of China, the impact she had on women's wrestling and just wrestling in general, I mean, I always look at it like this, and I'll say this about you and your art form with your internal and external beauty. I think guys, and I'll speak from the male point of view, it's the body worship thing, because there's so many beautiful women that are distinct. There are so many women that have that acumen, and really just, we love the women's body. And if you put something around our legs or just kick us in the nuts, we're in heaven pretty much. Is what we're saying.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have loved all the sessions that I have done, like, and I love I guess kind of surprising the people that I meet, because there have been a lot of clients where, because I'm new on the scenes, and a lot of people haven't, they haven't seen me before in real life, so they see me on social media or something else. So usually when they meet me, they're like, "Oh, you looked like just petite and cute online," and I'm like, "Yeah, I mean I am, but I'm also like a whole ass demon." And they're like, "Yeah, you got a lot more stature than I thought you would. You're stronger than I thought you would be." So yeah, I love breaking those barriers. I love like just breaking people's expectations, I guess.
I can respect that even more too, because I look at women like yourself. I look at women like Ruby Blue and so many great people like the Bella Inks of the world, and many people that get to do these shoots, these customs, these sessions. It's something not only empowering for all you ladies, but it's something that I think a lot of people, like even like the fans, appreciate it. It's a community, it's a clientele. But even if you see so many of these expos and everything going on, it's really great to see people come up and show up and turn out and really go out and really get to experience this stuff. I think we need more of that in this world. So you're kind of bringing a lot of people together in your own way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, every time that I go to an event, I'm always like, "Oh, I wonder who I'm gonna meet." Like maybe I'll learn about some new thing in this world that I didn't even know about before. And I love the women that I work with, like especially Ruby Blue. Oh my God, she has been amazing. Like I actually train jujitsu with her and her husband every single week. So she's helped like introduce me into this world.
Shout out to Ruby Blue, number one. And number two, let's talk about the jiu-jitsu front. What's up, girl? Ruby Blue, hell to the yeah. So let's talk about the jiu-jitsu front. Jiu-jitsu is another one so disciplined and so, just dare I say, the flow, the kicks, the strikes, and everything, the holds, really takes it to another level with the volume turned up. Talk about really getting to the jiu-jitsu front.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So when I first started in jiu-jitsu, I remember feeling so overwhelmed because I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is very technical." And you really have to pay attention to like every single one of your limbs. The angle of one limb can literally make the difference in everything that you're doing. Whereas, I came from a striking background, and I felt like it was more like straightforward. You would have the strike, where you would strike, like your footwork, and that was about it. It was a lot easier to break down. Whereas with jujitsu, one hold could have like multiple steps. It could have, you know, it could have like 10 different things that you have to pay attention to, like where is your head pressing, where is this hand going, and what direction is it going, what angle is your foot at right now, where's your weight placed. So it's been really enjoyable for me to learn, and I love learning it. I feel like with jujitsu, it's more of an equalizer among the sexes. If I were to go into a striking match with a large man, most likely I would lose. So I really love knowing that when I can get somebody on the ground, it feels like we're on more equal footing, and it's more about the skill that we have that I'm leveraging against them rather than just brute force. Like I like feeling like there's an art in what I do.
Oh, agreed. I've always looked at wrestling like this, and just anything in general, including jujitsu. You're telling a story. You're telling a story with your facial expressions, through your body language, and that's the most important thing. That's what people gravitate towards. And I think in today's day and age, with how the sport is combated, it's all about being safe and spectacular. You're being safe, but you're also applying your craft in spectacular fashion. So there's layers and levels that people don't even realize it really goes to the art form.
Yes, absolutely. Anyone who has not who has not wrestled or done jujitsu, I would say you would be surprised at how much goes into it, and like how many moves there are. Like it takes years and years to move up into the belts, like longer than it did for when I was doing martial arts.
Agreed, man. And it's also kind of like, and I'll make another pop culture reference. It's kind of like Hillary Swank in The Next Karate Kid with Pat Morita, just start going up the ranks, jumping off the rock and everything. So yeah. It's kind of like
yeah.
But no, I get it. I mean, we joke and we kid about the pop culture stuff, but that's really the most important thing. I think anybody who gets a discipline, who gets a skill in their life, it also takes people away from what we get to see in this world, from the streets and everything. So if you're really bettering yourself and staying positively proactive, I think that really helps a lot of kids, especially in today's day and age with the world that we're living in.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And like a lot of the clients that I've had them come to me and tell me like, oh well, I work such long hours, like I have to be this person at my job. Like, I have this role where people they expect so much out of me, and I feel like I always need to be playing this role. And when they come to me for sessions, they're like, I don't have to be any of those things. Like it's okay for me to enjoy this. It's okay for me to be submissive. And it just looks like it feels so freeing for them. And I love that for them. I feel like everybody should be able to have that in their lives.
Oh, agreed. I think anybody in today's day and age, especially just in life in itself, be happy and love what you're doing. I think Bad Bunny said it perfectly at the Super Bowl in Spanish. He was just like, believe in yourself like I did. I agreed wholeheartedly. Definitely clap it up for Bad Bunny. It's one of those things where I look at what he said. He's just like, believe in yourself, know you're worth it, and always remember that. Like he said it right into the camera, brought everybody together. It was a beautiful performance. So to equate it to even to that, especially in recent time, that is a wonderful message to have.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. And Bad Bunny show was awesome.
Let me just tell you something. All right, we watched this last night. We'll go on a little thing here about the Super Bowl. I'm watching this. I got to tell you right now, he gave the Grammy to the kid. He's just everybody. I got a little gasoline up there. I felt like I was back in 2005. We're seeing the dancing. We're seeing everything just combusted. Everybody's together. The flags. We got surprises by Lady Gaga. Ricky Martin. Ricky Martin, La Vida Loca over here coming out of nowhere. Like, it was great. Like, the whole presentation was awesome.
Oh yeah, and I'm always impressed by like just also how much goes into the halftime show too. I remember, so I was never really a big fan of football, but I remember the first time I watched the halftime show, I was like, oh, this is not just about football. Like, it's about like people in the music industry, and the arts industry. Like there's so much that goes into it. So yeah, I'm always excited to see like, oh, who are they going to bring out this time? And especially this year, I feel like the big message was unity. You know, there's a lot of stuff that's going on in the world right now that I think can be very discouraging when you look at it. So I love that Bad Bunny was there and he was out there to show like, hey, we're all one people. We're all American. You know, like let's make sure that we treat each other the way that we're supposed to be treating each other, you know, with the love and respect that people deserve.
I'll say two things to add to your point because that was beautifully said. Number one, united, not divided. And number two, let's focus on actual priorities that will affect each and every one of our lives instead of the priorities that are so minute that it truly doesn't matter. If I was to put in the bluntest of terms, I think you can agree with me on that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, I see stuff online sometimes where I'm like, you're really upset about that? Like that seems so silly when, you know, clearly there are huge issues out in the world these days that I feel like everyone should, that's where their focus should be turning into.
Agreed. And I'll say this bluntly. I think no matter, like we said, we're all Americans, that the fact that this man, Benito, is from Puerto Rico, which, by the way, is a part of the United States. It's a territory. And people are, I'm emphasizing that for this reason, is just the fact that this is what we're worried about. Like, we could go back to, like, the days of Phil Collins. We could go to Enrique Iglesias, who's performed at the Super Bowl. So this is, like, nothing new. They're just complaining that it was in Spanish. This is nothing new. Like, come on, people. What are we doing?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if our flag was designed a little bit differently, if there was kind of like a more convenient way to add more stars in, so where it wouldn't look weird, we would have already done that. Like the issue is not that Puerto Rico is not part of America. Right. The issue was literally just somebody decided the flag was going to look that way. But yeah, absolutely. Like, you know, the U.S. went over there. We decided we wanted Puerto Rico to be a part of this country. You know, that was a decision that was made by people way higher up than us. So yeah, everybody just kind of needs to accept it.
Yeah. And I'll put it in the bluntest of terms, excuse my language, but y'all need to calm the fuck down and actually focus on the real issues. I'm sorry. I'll get on a tangent about this. We'll move on to another subject.
Oh, no. Trust me. Me too. Me too. Because I'm like, did you see what was released in the Epstein files?
Yep.
And you're thinking about how you don't like that Bad Bunny said some words in Spanish at the halftime show. Can we be fucking for real about what's actually going on in the world? Like, let's focus on the important things, please.
All right. I'm about to be like Cisco in '99. You just unleashed the dragon. So I look at it from a stance like this. Listen, I forgot which podcast it was, but I know it was right leaning, and they were trying to compare. And listen, what I did not, I'll say this right here on the show. I did not like Charlie Kirk. I thought the message that he spread was racism, bigotry, and a lot of the stuff he said was wrong. And as someone who's Catholic, I took offense to it because I'm like, this is not the words of Jesus. This is not what he spread. Jesus spread love. We'll be here all day. But my thing too with Charlie Kirk is I did not, the way that he went out, no, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. That was absolutely horrible, and I hated that happened. No human being should go out like that. But I'm not going to give this man a pass for the hatred that he spewed and division that he caused within our country. But I will also say this. The fact that you are comparing this man to Martin Luther King Jr. is absolutely, absolutely nonsense. Thank you for shaking your head like that.
I'm so glad I have not seen that because that is insane. Like, look, no one should have to die the way that Charlie Kirk died. However, you know, if you're out here being a terrible person and spreading hate, like that's, and you die for that reason, that's a huge difference from like, you know, someone who's trying to just push forward the civil rights movement and get equal rights for everybody. So yeah, huge difference. But you know, I think you brought up a super important point too. Like there are a lot of very powerful people in the country who are doing, you know, what they're doing, and what they want is to divide us all, you know. So they put out all of this rhetoric that's like extreme, and maybe some people identify with it, and I don't even think they really identify with it. I think that they feel lost, they feel isolated out in this world, and they just want to feel like they have something that they connect with. But regardless, they're, you know, people are putting out extreme rhetoric, and then those are always the people who are the loudest, and the whole point is to divide us, to distract us, to, you know, like make sure that we're not paying attention to the things that matter. but the things that actually matter are like the most powerful people in the country, and it's like even in the world right now, they are controlling things so that the rest of us don't have enough of it. They are controlling things so that they can manipulate and abuse the population, like exactly what happened on Epstein's Island. And I, for one, I'm not going to be distracted from that. Like, I'm not going to, be distracted by whatever nonsense it is that they're putting out about like, oh, we're going to divide people by classes or divide people, by political background or anything else. Like, it's all just, it's noise. It doesn't matter.
I look at it like this, and you made a perfect sense of the Epstein files and not ignoring it, because I always go back to Caitlin Collins about a week ago, the CNN journalist who Donald Trump is like, I've known you for 10 years, and, I've never seen you smile. You know why you're not smiling? Because you're not telling the truth. And first of all, I say to Donald Trump, look in the mirror. Number two, Caitlin Collins was doing her job asking about the Epstein survivors and what you're going to do about it, which we saw in the commercial. And he's just like, you never smile. And what do you want her to be like, so about the Epstein? This is not a smiling matter. This is a serious matter. There's allegations. There's stuff out here. And also, she's a journalist. She's doing her job as a journalist, asking you the tough questions. This man does not like to be grilled. He likes the softball questions. He just wants people in there that want to agree and are believing in his own narrative and his rhetoric. That's all this is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you want to know the funniest part is, because even if she did smile here, let me get Fig. Even if she did smile during her interview, I wonder how like he would have responded to this. Like, so Mr. Donald Trump, the president of our country, how does it feel to be known as a child rapist? Like, how does that make you feel? Do you worry about getting impeached? Like, what do you say about these flight logs that show that you were at this island?
It's fake news and it's all a conspiracy against me. It's literally every answer. It's literally every answer.
With a smile.
With a smile. Oh, God. And listen, when we talk about stuff like this, and I will say and I'll just say right now, I am not on either side, but I am not against what the hell. This is beyond politics for me. This is right and wrong. A whole lot of wrong.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
It's just you know how to have to be a recent and decent human being. That's all you need to be.
Yeah, and I hate how people are turning this into like a Republican versus Democrat thing. Like, look, I don't even have anything against Republicans at all. Okay, like we have had good Republican presidents before. It's not about that. It's about the fact that we have a child rapist for our president. There's a huge difference.
I think my thing is too. My best friend, love him to death. Here's the thing: we all can coerce. He's on the right side. I'm not on the left side, but I know I'm not on that side, because again, we talk about right and wrong. And he's telling me, because he goes down the rabbit hole, he looks at the conspiracy theories and all that, and I just roll my eyes. But also at the same time too, he's like, the stuff in Hollywood and all this and all that with her. I'm like, where you been? Like, we're not going to act like we didn't know this stuff existed for years, and the entertainment business and stuff like that doesn't exist. I'm like, have you watched the Diddy documentary? Like, have you watched the Diddy documentary? Like, come on now. This stuff exists.
There's a lot of baby oil, man. Exactly. That's a lot of baby oil, literally. What other reason could you have for having that much baby oil inside of one house?
Astroglide, just, the room smelling like body. Jesus. This is unfortunately the stuff that we're dealing with in this world, and it's not good. You see a lot of bad crap coming out, and I'll be honest with you, it sucks. But at the end of the day, too, I hope in the years going forward that we get away from such nonsense and we can get back to where we need to be. Honestly, wholeheartedly on that.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see the day when people finally wake up and they're like, oh, what we should do is we should just like we should just put these people who have done terrible things through some court trials, convict them, whatever needs to be done, and then we can start talking about things that actually matter. Like how do we make this, lives better for everybody? How do we cure some of the issues that we have, like the real problems that real people deal with?
Well, it's the thing too. It's like, well, what if Bill Clinton's in the Epstein files, arrest him? And we've seen stuff. I would want anybody to be held to the highest extent of the law. It doesn't matter, Republican, Democrat, what have you. If you broke the law, you got to face consequences. That's what it is. Like, I don't know how hard this is for people to understand and wrap around. There should be no but or what if isms. It's just, if you break the law, You got to face consequences. I don't
Yeah.
understand. Like, we're in such a
Especially when it's with something that's so evil. Like, I mean, children. Look, I'll be the first to say, children are not really my kind of people. I think children are amazing when they're like 50 plus feet away from me, but to harm a child, especially in that manner, like to cause such great trauma to a child to where they will be, you know, mentally damaged for the rest of their lives. Like, yes, no matter who it is, that person has to be convicted. You know, like I don't care about anything else like in their lives. I don't care what else it is that they do, what else they contributed to. You know, could be the fucking greatest person in the world who cured cancer. And if you touch children, sorry, dude, you got to go to prison. Like, I don't understand how anyone in the world could disagree with that. I thought that was the one thing that we all agreed on. We don't touch children.
It's like Megyn Kelly defending and going like, oh, he wasn't into like 5-year-olds. It doesn't matter. If you're under the age of 18, you're still a child. What are we doing here? What are we doing here?
Yeah, I mean, if you're grooming a 15-year-old, you know, whose brain is definitely not fully developed, a 15-year-old who is probably getting her period for the first time, then yeah, that's still pedophilia. Like, it doesn't matter if they're 5 or 15.
It reminds me of, well, look at what we saw with Nickelodeon and the Quiet on the Set documentaries. Dan Schneider is a giant piece of shit. And then he did that interview where he's just like, I'm sorry if I did do that. My man, you did that. You just don't want to say you did that. You're trying to do the if I did that. Like, no, you did that. You could tell that is a straight up liar and despicable human being interviewed like that. It gets my blood boiling even think about poor Amanda Bynes and where she's at now. It's disgusting.
Oh, man. Yeah, and I read Jeanette McCurdy's book too, which I thought was pretty funny. Except for all of the abuse and trauma, but she as a woman is very funny. Yeah, and it was insane to like just to read through all of those things, and I'm so proud of her for speaking out. Like, every time that a woman speaks out about trauma, I'm like, yes, I'm proud of you for doing that. And, finally, this is going to be brought up to light, because the only reason why people do this, like why terrible men do these things, is because nobody holds them accountable. So like, that's the solution. We have to be out there and saying, you did this, you caused this to happen to us, and you are not going to get away with it. You are going to be held to the same standard that everybody else is going to be.
I mean, also, even if you want to like flip it around too, like we mentioned the Super Bowl, like the fact that this is probably the first time in American history that a Turning Point USA wanted to counteract this. And I'm sorry, but when you got Kid Rock up there, and look, I remember I'm old enough to remember when Bob with the Bach came out in 1999. I remember when American Badass came out. I remember when his first album came out. But look, this man lip synced through his performance. This man is almost 60 years old wearing what he was wearing, and he's got the white jacket on that he had in American Badass. And I'm like, look, I remember the 99 VMAs, and I love growing up in the 90s, but it's not 99 or 2000 anymore. Like, I'm sorry, just because the fact that you have a problem with this man being Puerto Rican, we don't care about Bob with the Bob, the bang, and dang, diggy, 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 said the boogie, said up, jump the boogie in 2026.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm a 90s kid myself, and the 90s were amazing, but we have also like progressed a lot as people since the 90s. And a lot of the things that used to be more normalized back then is not now. And, it's not cool to be racist at all. Like, you're just a bad person. Like, there's no other way to put it.
Exactly. But I think in today's day and age again, it all comes down to the head of all of this. If the president is acting this way, it affects the country because of the fact of these people in their heads think, oh, I can act like this too, and nothing's going to happen to me, which is so wrong and is so immoral at the same time.
Yeah. And, I have to say, I remember when this most recent election came up, and I was like, there's no way. There's no way that the American people would nominate Trump for a second presidency. It's like, no, that would not happen. And I remember seeing the polls, and I was like, oh dear, We are entering a very dark age in time right now. I do not know what's going to happen, but it's going to be really bad. I had a pair of friends who were like, it's not safe to be in this country anymore. And thankfully, we have the funds to leave for the next few years. And I was like, good for you guys. You escaped.
Well, that was my thing too, is because first of all, for the farmers that were complaining, y'all voted for this. What did you think was going to happen? Number one, and number two, it's like, you really want to piss off Canada, the UK, and all of our allies? Like, why would you want to do it? They're our allies. And saying stuff like Canada would be nowhere without the United States. I'm like, they're our allies, and our allies are looking at us like we're the joke of the century here. Like, come on now, man.
I feel like we've been the joke of the world for a while now, because I remember the first time that Trump was president and he was the only country in the UN to exit the Paris Accords. I was like, okay, this is just a dark time in our country right now, and when he's out, everything will be better then. Um, and yeah, I feel like people have only begun to joke about us even more. Like I've been reading online that Canadians don't like coming here anymore. Now they don't feel safe here, and I'm like, can you imagine that? Canadians having a problem with anyone in the world.
Agreed wholeheartedly, number one. And number two, you actually bring up a great point, because I've always said this. I'm like, they always talk about tourism and everybody coming over here and stuff, but I'm like, nobody's going to want to come over here if this bullshit is going on. People are like, we going to stay over here. We're going to stay in the UK. We're going to stay in Canada. We're not coming over here. And that's what we're doing. We're just having not of our allies come over here. And it's so fucking wrong.
Yeah, it's definitely hit Vegas's tourism industry hard. I was a little bit worried myself, because I was like, wait, a lot of my clients are like from out of this city, and it's also it is sad to me. I absolutely understand where people from other countries are coming from, but I do also hope that they know that there are some areas in this country that have not lost their minds. Like if you go to California, it's still the same. Like really, people in California are not any different. They're still pretty reasonable, rational people. It's still very nice to go out to LA. So I hope more of them understand that. Like maybe there's some areas of the country that we don't go to right now, but there are still absolutely some that are worth going to. Like I'm going to LA myself next month.
Nice. Well, I look at it like this, Jade. It's one of those things where, like you mentioned, there are still good people in this world. There are still people that love one another, no matter what the color. And what they do is we just bring unity and shed light to people, because that's how it should be. We're all here to have the same goal here. We're all here to live the dream and just do what we do and love one another and do our best that we can each and every single day. And a lot of us haven't lost sight of that.
Yes, beautifully said and agreed.
Now, I will say this. Speaking of doing what you do and what you love, let's talk about booty slap entertainment, man. First, shout out to Brandy May, number one. My goodness gracious. Can we talk about this, Jade? Because what a great concept.
Yeah, I remember the first time it was brought to me, I was like, I love it. How do I get into it? Like, tell me all about it. And when I was watching the videos, I was like, this is going to be amazing. Like, just walking into the event, fresh face, walking out of the event with handprints on my ass. Sign me up.
Well, that's the thing, too. If you can make something of that nature that adds the sex appeal, that adds the fun, the entertainment value. And again, who doesn't want to look at that, dare I say, badonkadonk, if you will, of what we get to see with so many great, dare I say, posterior, some booty, some ass, if you will. It's all wrapped up in one, and it's a hell of a time.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And I love anything that has to do like with portraying the ass. You got to show off your best assets. So,
amen to that. It's like 2006 Bubba Sparks, Yin Yang Twins, booty, 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 rocking everywhere. A little Miss New Booty action, if you will. Come on now, man. I feel
yeah, I am an ass girl myself. I'll admit that.
And I will say this: there's a lot of beautiful asses out there. We're like friggin' Billy Gunn back in the WWF days, Mr. Ass. I'm an ass man. Dun dun. So come on now, showcase it for all the asses out there. Ass like that, Eminem will be here all day. But yeah, I totally feel you on that front.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be in that for the first time. I'm so excited that Brandy May invited me.
Well, shout out to Brandy Man. The links for some booty slap entertainment will be in the description below this fine show today, folks. And I got to ask you as well, as we are coming towards the end of the program here. First of all, Jade Long, you're an absolute delight, an absolute fun time. I'd love to have you back for round 2. Talk about the fight afterwards.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yes, I would love to talk about it.
Thank you so much. Now, it's Valentine's Day. It's the most loving time. It's the tunnel of love. It's the sexy time. There's a lot of relationships, foundations really going on and bringing people together from the love aspect. For you, I got to ask you, it could be on a scale from like 1, where it's that overall rom-com happy ending of Valentine's Day with the chocolates, with the flowers and the love, on a scale of 10, where it's like Sean Hunter being trapped in the boathouse on Valentine's Day on Boy Meets World. What would you rate your Valentine's Day's experience? And do you have any fond memories, anything of that note? Because it is the season of love.
Yeah, past Valentine's, I've definitely been more of like the the traditional like rom-com type. I've had a lot of great Valentines. I've eaten at very nice restaurants. I love chocolates personally. Those are always my favorite thing. This Valentine's Day, though, is the first that I'm spending single in many, many years. And I was a little bit sad about it at first, I'm not gonna lie. But you know what? In the last few months, I feel like it's actually empowering because for one, what I'll be doing on Valentine's Day, but for two, I realized that I don't need to have one specific man in my life to make my holiday feel amazing. Like I have my best friend Alex. We're gonna have a girls' day, like we're gonna go eat sushi on Sunday. We're gonna go get baked and eat like a bunch of discount chocolate and spend the night together. Yeah, and I feel like I'm going to be surrounded by all these amazing women during this holiday, and I honestly couldn't ask for a better Valentine's Day. So I think I'm most excited for this Valentine's Day most of all.
Okay, first and foremost, you brought up something great, and we'll talk about the single and ready to mingle lifestyle because you actually made a very good point here. So, as someone who has had past relationships, and I thank God that every one of them ended well, even though I'm apart from these people, it ended on good terms. So that's always a plus. But I've always looked at Valentine's Day like this. It's a special day. It's love, it's passion, it's overall authenticity. And being in that moment, the moments and memories created and the moments and memories yet to be created is wonderful. But I'm at the same point too. I'm single. I'm doing my thing now. I think it's one of those things too, focusing on myself, focusing on my family. I'm like you. Like, I'll be honest with you, this Valentine's Day, folks, my mom's been through a lot over the years. My mom beat cancer and she's been kicking ass and taking names. So I've always looked at it like this. Thank you so much. I've always looked at it like this, like spending time with the family. And my mom, just going to take you out. Shout out to all the moms out there. Taking my mom out to dinner is fine. Just taking my grandma out. Like, that stuff is the stuff that matters to me. And like, first year that I've been single too. So I get it. I get it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I feel like I spent so many years chasing romance, and I it I don't regret anything that I did, but I've started to realize, like I need to invest more into these other relationships in my life because I've had friends who have been in my life for like half of my lifetime. So I'm like, okay, this is what's lasting. This is where I need to put my time and my energy. This is what's fulfilling. And I'm so glad that I'm like at that point in my life, and I have to say, like, wow, to your mom, anyone who beats cancer, like that is an accomplishment. Like I can't imagine what it's like to go through that. So I'm so happy for you guys. I hope you guys have the best holiday.
Thank you, as I hope you do as well. I mean, I've looked at it like this. I've always talked about this. I'm very open about this. So my grandmother also had it. Like, it came back. Like, she had it a second time around when I was a teenager. So I saw that. So I was there for my grandmother during that time. My mom had it about 5 years ago now, and then a year after she had the surgery, and then we found out not too after that she was cancer free. So I've always looked at it like this. It's always the blessings, but also at the same time too, that's the true love right there, of family and just everyone in your surroundings around you. And I'll even put it to you like this, man. I think with today's dating pool, it's kind of harder just because of the fact that, and I'm going to put it in the bluntest of terms here, Jade, a lot of people believe the red pill bullshit of just like, it kind of reminds you like those guys, like the content creators like Justin Waller, who's like, when I take a woman out, I just ignore her and I have my fellas with me and we talk about business. But in that moment, she knows that I'm strong and I'm respectful. I'm like, bro, I hate to tell you this, but I don't think a woman wants to be ignored on a date, number one. Do you see this? I think that's the hardest part because they see that and they kind of compartmentalize it as like this is how romance should be. And at the end of the day, it's fucking bullshit. I don't mean to go on a tire on that, but really, you see that a lot nowadays in social media and the impact there.
Oh yeah. So so it's been very interesting dating in my 30s because yes, I met a lot of those kinds of men in my 20s. And I used to not be quite as outspoken about this. And well, that's not even right. I used to not cut people off quite as quickly. I was always outspoken when I did not like the way I was being treated. But yeah, it's funny nowadays because if I meet a man and he's just, I don't know, he's on some bullshit, I'm always like, okay, next, bye, block, see you next time. And I have noticed a lot of men who have met other women like me, they're starting to become more, I guess, anxious because they're like, oh no, what if I end up alone? What if I'm the problem and I'm the reason that I end up alone? And I'm like, yeah, what if you end up alone? Because because my life is great. If I never end up settling down, I'm okay with that. Like I live a full life, but a lot of these men, they don't. They are very lonely. They're very isolated and desperate. Um so yeah, if I ever meet any more of those men where, they think the way to a woman's heart is just, I don't know, disrespect or anything like that, like, yo, good luck because I'm gonna call you out on your bullshit and you will be surprised.
I put it in the bluntest of terms like this. I'm glad that you said that because I've always looked at it like this. Men, it's not leave it to Beaverland. We ain't Ward and Jude up in here. This ain't the 50s. Like, let's actually treat women respectfully and kindness and not fucking look at them as like you're just like, hey, go get me a sandwich and shit. Like, just fucking treat people equally and unity, please. I put it in the bluntest terms like that all the time. But fuck. But yeah, I don't mean to go on a tangent there, but God damn it, man. Y'all need to get, you know what it is? It's where the day and age of people need to come correct. In any aspect, just come correct and be nice.
Yep, you either come correct or I will literally yell at you in public. Like I do not care who's listening. I don't care where we are. Like you're gonna be put in your place. So yeah, come correct.
So speaking of putting women in her place, I got to ask you this and people in general in their place. You got this hell of a fight with Bella incoming, like we talked about at the top of the hour. LFC Championship is on the line. Main event, your name on the marquee. Baby, do you have any final words for your opponent, the LFC champion herself, Miss Bella Inc.?
I want Bella to know that even though I am a little bit green on the scene, that I am going to put up a really good fight and to not underestimate me because I'm coming for her.
Hell yes. And also green on the scene. I like your style. I like the little tie-in. All right. Okay. You got me hooked. You got the selling point to me right here. So everybody go out of their way. LFC 46, Tunnel of Love, this coming weekend, Valentine's Day. Spend it with the amazing ladies of LFC Lingerie Fighting Championships. And Miss Jade Long, before we close this out, you're doing your thing on the social media front. We're seeing you doing your thing in the gym, looking as only as you can look great, really getting the gains in, beast mode activated. Where can we follow you on the socials?
So you can follow me on Instagram, which is going to be Dominate Jade Dragon, and you can follow me on Twitter. That's going to be Dom Jade Dragon. Dom is spelled Domme.
Beautifully and eloquently said. The links will be in the description down below. Man, we have everything from diversity. We have everything from beauty, strength, and dominance, much like the top of this show. It is a good time for everybody. FSW Arena this coming weekend for LFC 46. And if you want to check out this podcast, it's S&M Network shows on YouTube, LFCfights.com, and the VIP section with so many great guests, including this one right here, and so many great LFC events, LFC Exposed, and so many great shows from Tommy Bellard, Sketchy and Funny, and more. Go out of your way, LFCfights.com. And before we close this out, one last question for Miss Jade Long here. One thing I always love, because in this life, it's a journey. We constantly keep going. We're constantly on our paths. For you, what are some of the things that you're grateful thus far within your life, within everything that you've gone through within this industry, being new on the scene? What are some of the things that Miss Jade Long is grateful for?
Oh man, I'm grateful for so much. I have to tell you, like last year, my life was a dumpster fire. My narcissist ex kind of ruined my life. But I have to say, I rebuilt my life from the ground up, and it is better than ever. Like, I would not have believed you if you told me in a year my life would look like this. You know, like I love what I do for work. I get to travel the country now. Like every place I go, even, you know, whenever a client flies me out for a session, I always try to make sure I enjoy, you know, some little thing within that city that I've never done before. You know, even if it's just like eat at a restaurant or walk around the park, like see something that I haven't seen before. And you know, like I get to have like the freedom over my schedule. You know, I get to work with a lot of amazing women where like everyone is just so supportive. Like I've never been in an industry before where everyone is so supportive, so willing to like just help you learn. You know, like women supporting women. This is the way that life is supposed to be, in my opinion. I have a great social circle, like great friends. You know, I live alone in my beautiful house, and it's always clean, and there's no men stressing me out.
Well, amen to all of that. And we're glad to see you doing as only as you can do, Miss Jade Long. And I will say this as well. First off, fuck that guy from with your ex there. Really, fuck that
Yep.
guy. No, honestly, like really, what the fuck? Like them narcissistic bitches.
Oh man, it was bad. He had like a whole second life that he was living with another woman who he hired in his real estate business, which I think he hired her basically to try to like date her. I don't know. It was some like thing of power that he had over her. Um, yeah, it was a mess. And then he wouldn't move out of my house for months. Months.
Okay, this LFC podcast literally just turned into a Lifetime Movie Network movie. That's literally what that literally is what that is. It's like something you would see on like Investigation Discovery minus the murder part. But yeah, like all right, yeah, fuck that, and fuck good on you for getting out of that situation. Fuck yeah.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. So with that being said, thank you all for listening to the LFC podcast. Much like the title of the show and my mindset, beauty, strength, and dominance, the three key elements that make women the work of art that they are. And Miss Jade Long, I include you in those sentiments. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for your time. It was great doing this podcast with you. See you again.
Thank you. Bye.